Go.
Hello and welcome to the Broad Street Fanatic broadcast. I am your host, Cameron Bogdanoff, along with my co-host, Alex Rich, and we have a special guest today. We have our TCNJ friend, Shane Kelley. Shane, how you doing?
Good, Cam, Alex. I'm honored to be on the first episode of Broad Street Fanatics. I'm excited to talk some Philly sports and hear what you guys got to say.
Yep.
Yeah, we're honored to have you. Thanks for taking your guess it's Wednesday night out and taking some time for us. So, Alex, I think you have some questions prepared. Go ahead, my friend.
Okay. So my first question is, uh, what are your thoughts on Doc Rivers?
On Doc Rivers. All right, well, I'm gonna start this with I was a huge Brett Brown fan. I
Hmm.
loved Brett Brown. Thought he was, the right guy for a while, but it was time to move on. And I think going from Brett Brown, you needed a coach who would come in, a lot of experience, can really lay down the law, especially with Joe and Ben, kind of put him in their place. I think he's been great. I mean, we're about to lock up the one seed here. I mean,
Yeah.
I can't complain. I think he's been good. I think the kind of the structure and the kind of accountability he's holding them to is kind of what they needed.
Yeah, I can definitely agree.
I
He's been awesome from the jump.
I think it's cool that he's coaching his brother-in-law because
Yep.
Seth Curry is married to his daughter, I believe, and they have a connection, I guess, outside of basketball. So I thought that was kind of cool.
I know it must be, if Seth has a bad shooting night, it must be awkward
It's
family
like,
dinner that weekend.
yeah, yes,
Yeah.
yes, yes, exactly. All right,
Oh,
Alex, next
Okay.
question.
So my next question is, what were your takes on the past game between Sixers and Pacers that was taken this past Tuesday?
so, like Alex, I think we were texting, we were hoping they'd be able to clinch up the one seed there without Joel. And when I was gonna say to you yesterday, Alex, when I for the game, I was hoping this would be a nice game to see Tobias and Ben kind of be the aggressors without Joe there, get some confidence going in, kind of lock up the one seed and move on to the playoffs. But they came out hot yesterday. Came out hot in the game Tuesday. Second half and really the fourth quarter, just I don't know what happened. It it was bad. You can't do that. I mean, but again, without Joel, it's tough to really hold him accountable.
And
But I mean, I
plus,
think go ahead.
plus they didn't have Kokomas or Matisse.
Yep, which are two, I mean, big pieces too. Matisse can be big in the playoffs, so hopefully
Yeah.
Korkmaz. I, you know, there were some good things, but it wasn't very good yesterday. It was, I think they had
Yeah.
their last field goal made was with like 5 minutes left.
Hmm.
But
Yeah.
what did you think of it, Alex?
Um, I think we definitely missed Joel. I think it would have been a different type of game flow for the Sixers if Embiid played. I just think that like if Matisse and Korkmaz played also, we would have won by at least 8. I think.
Yeah, yeah. No, I agree. Cam, what did you think?
I actually wasn't able to watch it. I'm on
Oh,
vacation and I
oh, yeah,
and I don't get the station down here. But tomorrow night, I believe it's on national television. I believe
yep,
on either ESPN or TNT. So I'll be watching it tomorrow
yep.
night. But from what I heard, we missed Matisse and we missed Joel Embiid very very much.
Yeah,
I
you didn't miss too good of a game. You
I
picked a good one to
I,
miss.
I don't think I did. I don't think I did.
There was a couple Ben jumpers though in there. I
Yeah.
think he had two in there. Which are always great to see.
Yeah.
So
I like it. I definitely like his step back jump shot.
yeah, you see, he just keeps keep doing it more.
Yeah.
He's good at it too. Yeah, he just needs to
Yeah.
keep doing it more. But he's great just the way he is.
So my third question is, This is a big and tough question to ask. Who do you have as your defensive player of the year and MVP for the season?
Okay, as Shane the Sixers fan here, I got Ben as defense player of the year and Joel as MVP. But what do I think is going to happen? I think it's going to be Rudy Gobert as defense player of the year with Ben at second. I think Jokic. I think Jokic is going to be almost unanimous MVP with Joel as second. I think it's. I mean, everyone's saying it's games played. If you look at it, I mean, Jokic's having an unbelievable season. If you look at his numbers offensively, he's almost 7 foot, averaging almost triple double. Yeah. And even when they lost Jamal Murray, they've still been winning. They were up to like a 3 seed now or something around there. But when you watch Joel, if you just watch one game, if you want one player for one game this year, if anyone in the league, you're picking Joel. He's been dominant. I think since he's kind of been almost pushed out of the race because of his games played. They've been kind of coasting the past couple of games, and But if there's one guy on the court, it's him. But I think games played is just gonna cost him that award.
I think that if Embiid didn't get hurt and without the 2 weeks, I think we'd be talking about something totally different right now. I think
absolutely.
We'd be talking about a unanimous MVP and Embiid.
I agree, and I think if he doesn't get injured too, we all talk about Ben Simmons and the defensive player of the year, and everyone talks about Matisse maybe getting on the second team, but Joel Embiid is also one of the best defenders in the league. He always before this year he never said I want to win the MVP this year. It was always like Ben saying I want to be the defensive player of the year, and then hopefully MVP comes with that. But
yeah. All right, Alex, do you have one more question for him?
Yeah. So getting a little off topic from the NBA, kind of want to go into the NFL, and I wanted your thoughts on the Eagles draft picks and what stood out to you.
Devontae Smith, love it. Great pick. Hopefully he is. I mean, to get the Heisman receiver at 10, great. I think Howie ended up looking very smart in the trade he made. I think they wanted him all along. I mean, especially when you see that Pitts and Jamar Chase were off before 6, where they were originally picking, made it just that much sweeter to hop right in front of the Giants there and steal their guy. I think he's going to be. I think it was the right pick. I think I think he's going to be good. I think he's going to help out Rager too, and I think we got a good couple young receivers there, and hopefully we have the quarterback too. And then rest of the draft, with Dickerson in the second round, I think that's going to be it's not a fun pick. It's not what anyone wanted now. But you need O-line. We got Brandon Brooks has been injured off and on. Kelsey was about to retire. I think that's going to be a pick. And from listening to guys and kind of doing some research, he looks like he's going to be a guy that could be here for a long time. Kind of one of those like Jason Kelsey-esque guys. So I can't complain. I wish they got a couple more corners, maybe some linebackers. We still got some things to figure out, but I liked it.
How about Fletcher Cox's cousin?
We got Fletcher Cox's cousin, didn't we?
Yeah. Kenny from Memphis. I forget his last name.
Yeah, I forget too. The D tackle or the.
He's the running back.
The running back, yes. Yeah. He's gonna be really good. I didn't actually know anything about him until they drafted him, and I watched some like highlights, and he played against Sean Bradley at Temple. I saw it. He kind of in those games when you're watching the film, he just without contentedly you watch the film and he just is the best guy on the field. I mean, we'll see how it translates, but I think with Miles Sanders, him, you got Jordan Howard might get pushed, might not make the roster. But I think their offensive weapons are there.
How about Boston Scott?
Boston Scott too. Boston Scott's good.
I love it. I don't know So, either Boston Scott, it probably Jordan Howard's the one who gets pushed out, but it'll probably be, Boston Miles and the Fletcher Cox's cousin. I think that's the.
And didn't we get another running back? Didn't we get
Oh yeah, they just.
I forget if they got anyone from.
It wasn't from the draft. It was a name I've heard of before. We'll look it up and we'll find it by the end of the podcast.
All right.
All right. I have a question. My question is, which rookie besides Devontae Smith do you see making the biggest growth this season and making the most production for the Eagles besides Devontae?
Besides Devontae this year, I mean, in the long term, I think it's going to be Landon Dickerson, but he won't be playing this year with his knees. I mean, honestly, I think this year that corner was in McPherson.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think she improved up for a minute, but I agree. I think it's going to be Landon Dickerson or maybe even Fletcher Cox's cousin.
Yeah.
Let's see. Shane, can you hear us, Shane?
Fun.
All right, so we're back now. We got Shane. So I think he started cutting out when you were talking about the which you were saying Landon Dickerson that were going to be the most growth with the Eagles.
So I think Landon Dickerson is going to be the long-term biggest contributor, but I think this year, who we'll see. I mean the corner out of Texas Tech. I think.
Well, if any team was not going to be
McPherson,
concerned about the fact that Devontae's,
he's a beast, or he's good, but he's going to have to play. He's going to have to be our slot guy. They need a corner this year, or Kenneth Gainwell, the running back. I think I pronounced his last name wrong, but you're going to see him get touches this year, and the corner's going to play, and a couple of those D tackles will get some burn. But I think if the corner McPherson could be the best, that would be best case for us. But I think Kenneth Gainwell is going to be, you're going to notice him out there.
Yeah, I agree. Hey, my next question is, what are your thoughts on Doug Peterson leaving Philly, and also what are your thoughts on Nick Sirianni?
So with Doug, I thought when they were getting rid of him, it was it all ties into the Carson situation and what was going on, and then they got rid of Doug. He thought they were keeping Carson. Then all this stuff comes out after, and it's basically Doug was Howie and Jeff Lurie's puppet, and not being told who's going to be on the roster active on game day until Sunday morning or Saturday, and not being able to do what he wanted. So I have no hard feelings towards Doug. Howie Roseman is the problem and still is. I think he had a good draft. He's still the little rat in the organization. I think he's the guy causing the issues. But I like Doug. But that relationship's can't work. And I hope him best. I think he was a good coach. Maybe not the best coach. He could have done a lot better on adjusting the offense last year, but then you come to find out how much control did he really have. So I'm just a Howie Roseman hater is what you did.
Yeah. And then what do you think on Nick Sirianni? I know there's not a lot to know about him.
Yeah, so it seems like I don't think he was the best option, but it's hard to judge before you get there. He did. He was a good OC in Indy. He seems enthusiastic and energetic, which I like to see in a coach rather than
Yeah.
I loved Andy Reid, but he wasn't getting fired up on the sideline. I like to see someone kind of getting in. But we'll just have to wait and see. He hasn't done anything to make me not a fan yet. But
yeah, I think Doug Peterson is always going to have a place in Philadelphia's heart because as of right now, he's the only coach to ever bring Philadelphia a Super Bowl victory. So I think he's going to have a special place in Philadelphia's heart for the long run.
I mean, he's got a statue. Him and Nikki, him and BDN got a statue outside the link. That's not going anywhere. That he brought it. It just the turnaround of being the guy to win the Super Bowl, and then 3 years later, gone.
Yeah, he's fired. Yeah.
I think it was one of like the fastest 3 turnarounds of a coach who won a Super Bowl ever. Like all leaving that team that like didn't retire.
Yeah.
You were like guys in like the 50s.
Right.
It's crazy how it went down, and that just there's still problems in that organization.
I agree. And then there's the last question too. The last question's kind of a fun one. If you could have dinner with any Sixers or Eagles that are on the roster this year, who would it be and where would you go?
Any
Sixers? And who would you pick? Pick a guy from each team and where would you go? Right. And give us a reason.
Each team. All right. I mean, I'll start with the Sixers. The obvious answer is Joe. I mean, I feel like he'd be a ball of a time, but I had, in the past seen him out back in the day at Morgan's Pier in Philly, and he's not the most. He's almost like an extrovert in public. He just kind of stays himself. He's not a big drinker. So I think I'm gonna go with Mr. Ben Simmons. You go out with Ben, I might end up back in LA meeting the superstars. I might end up at the Jenner's house. So I think I think I'll go kick it with Ben. I think I think Ben will show a good time. And where would I go with Ben? With Ben, we're going to like Del Frisco's, one of the best steakhouses in Philly. We're balling out.
And if you're lucky, it's on bed.
If with that max contract, I hope it's on Ben. Come on. Imagine we got Ben, we get this, we're getting $100 steaks, $1,000 bottle of wine, and he's just like, "You got it?" I'm like, for this one.
Yeah. And then who would you go out to dinner with on the Eagles?
On the Eagles, I think I would go out with Brandon Graham. He was been my favorite Eagle for a while. I was same position as him, same number. It's not an accident. I love that guy. I love the way he plays. I try my best to be like him. Just a bad Q3 version of him, but I would go out with him, and with him, I think we wouldn't go as fancy. I would go maybe go grab some barbecue somewhere with Brandon Graham. I think go grab some. I don't know. I don't know a specific spot, but kind of go get some brisket and just enjoy a cold beer with Brandon Graham.
Yeah.
Yeah, I really like that. For my Eagles is interesting. You have to hear me out on this because there's reasons. I'd go with Zach Ertz, and not because he's my favorite player, but I watch soccer too.
Yeah, I know.
I watch the women's soccer team, and I think you guys know where that is. I think if I go with Zach Ertz, maybe Julia will come too, and I'd have 2 superstars at the same table having dinner. I mean, that would be absolutely amazing. I don't know where I would go there. I'd say their choice.
Yeah.
Let them pick.
He's got.
Sorry to cut you out, Shane.
You're good.
But
You're right.
okay. I was thinking Shake Milton and thinking of going to Shake Shack.
Shake Milton going to Shake Shack. Okay.
You're a businessman, Alex. You're thinking sponsors. Look at you. You're an ad deal on the pod here. You're always thinking you're one step ahead of everybody.
Yep.
All right. Now it's time to talk about probably the biggest news in sports today, which is the football schedule. It's Eagle football schedule. Alex, do you want to take it from here?
Sure. So the Eagles schedule got released tonight around 8 p.m. And looking at the first 3 weeks, we have Atlanta, San Francisco, and Dallas. And I just wanted your thoughts, Shane, on the first 3 games and thoughts on Nick Sirianni's game plan going forward with the first 3.
All right. So the first week we have the Falcons, right? It's well, Kyle Pitts. We get to see Kyle Pitts in that.
Away at Atlanta.
Yep, that offense they have there kind of scares the daylights out of me here. Pitts, Julio, Calvin Ridley, Matt Ryan still slinging around a little bit, and with our non-existent corners behind Darius Slay right now, we're still waiting to get someone, and our linebackers, which are got something to prove. I think that that's a winnable game, but it does scare me a little bit. Especially their new coach was Arthur Blank or Arthur Smith.
I think it's Arthur. I think Arthur Blank's the owner, but
Arthur Smith is the coach, right? And
I believe so. That sounds about right. Yeah.
It's interesting because I was going to say the Eagles defense, they have a tough challenge of trying to figure out. It's the first game for him with that offense, and don't really know what to prepare. They'll be watching old film from where he was before and trying to. I think he was with the Titans, trying to put it together and figure out what he's going to do. But on the contrary, they're going to be doing the same thing with Nick Sirianni, not knowing what the Eagles offense is going to look like. And and especially Nick Sirianni, you have, his last film is with Philip Rivers as quarterback. Now he's got Jalen Hurts. So the offense is going to be completely different. So that'll be a fun game. I think it's going to be, I think the Eagles are going to have to put up points to stay in that one, but I think they might be able to. Falcons defense doesn't scare me too much. So I'll give
Shane,
the Eagles that one.
Before you continue, I just wanted to let you know that Kyle Pitts went to my high school.
Really?
Yeah.
So we have a connection on the podcast for Kyle Pitts. How about that?
Yeah, that is how. So what grade was he compared to you?
I don't personally know him. I just know that he actually went to Abington, which is my high school, and another one which is like 20 minutes away from Abington. So
did you guys go to school together?
I don't think so. I think we are a year
Apart.
Yeah.
Did you get to see him at all?
No, unfortunately, I haven't.
Right.
But I know he's been at Florida for a good amount of time.
Yeah. Yeah. Right.
Very good.
Yeah.
I think I'll give the Eagles the win there. So I don't want to. What do you guys don't have to go too deep, but at least let me hear your win-loss prediction on the game.
I think we're gonna win. I think we have a. I think later in September we might get some losses because we have daunting task later in September. But we'll get there. But I think it's a win in Atlanta. What do you think, Alex?
Yeah, I think that I see them getting the win against Atlanta. I'm just a little anxious to see what happens against Dallas because I know them getting Micah Parsons, and I feel like they're going to be very hard on the Eagles' offensive side. And I'm also very anxious to see how their offense plays out because they have some good weapons, kind of as good as Devontae Smith and Jalen Regal.
And we have to remember Dak's coming back.
Yeah.
You have to remember he wasn't bad when he left. He was getting ready, I think, to bloom. But Dak's back, and Dak is Dak, you know.
Yeah, the Cowboys have weapons. They have some guys on D, but they're still the Cowboys. They're still.
Yeah.
So, do we think we're gonna win against Dallas in week 3, or what do we think?
We skipped over week 2, but week 3, since we're on it, it is at Dallas. I'll probably give that one. I hate to say it. Is that Monday night too? They're Monday night.
Monday night, yes, Monday night at Dallas. It's early. I was talking with my dad earlier. I was saying I don't think we usually play Dallas until it's like 7 or 8. But here we are, week 3 at Dallas.
Yeah, I think
Monday night.
I think that's gonna be a tough one for the Bears. The same reason I get scared of the Falcons a little bit with the high-powered offense, but the Cowboys got some players on D too that.
Yeah.
I'm gonna give that one. Give that one to the Cowboys.
All right, and then we skipped the game. So about San Francisco really quick. San Francisco.
Fran, are we gonna see Garoppolo or Trey Lance?
I think that's going to be a big part of it.
They're good. They're a good team. They got Nick Bosa and B. Kittle is gonna probably kill us with unless some of these linebackers are stepping up. San Fran's a good team. I'm gonna, regardless of quarterback, give that one to San Fran. That's gonna be a tough one. Again, a winnable game. Though. I think all 3 of these first games are winnable, but tough. I think they're tough. And if they can go 2-1 in these first 3 games, that'd be great. Gotta take at least one.
Yeah.
If Jalen Hurts is in the offense is looking good and defense is better than I think, they could take all 3. But I'm gonna go with 1 and 2. I'm gonna go with start off with a win, and then lose to 49ers and Cowboys.
Yeah, and then after Dallas comes the tough ones. We have Kansas City 1 week, and we have Carolina, which I'm not too worried about that. But the next week after Carolina, we have Tampa Bay. We have Kansas City and Tampa Bay with Carolina in between them. I believe Carolina and Tampa Bay are both at home. That's on our side. What do you think? Do you think that there's a chance we'll beat 1 or 2 of them, or maybe all 3 of them?
So I think it's actually Chiefs at home, Carolina away, then Bucks at home. I think we can take the Chiefs and Bucks. That's probably the Super Bowl matchup.
Yeah.
I think both those games, and it's NFL, anything can happen, but I think both those games, although at home, are 2 losses. And the Panthers, I think should be win. It is on the road, going down to the dog pound, but for nothing, but Sam Darnold doesn't necessarily do it for me. He doesn't get excited. So I think the Eagles can take the Panthers there. So I'll give them, so what I got them through week 6. I got them 2-4 right now. Not good. But.
Not particularly. And then week 7, we go in to Las Vegas. And what do you think is going to happen in one of the cities that never sleeps?
Yeah. As long as the boys aren't out there partying too much, I think this just Derek Carr doesn't necessarily scare me. They were good last year. They made a little run, but I'll give this one to the Bears here. And again, it's so hard right now because we don't know what they're gonna look like. But just first reaction, I'll give them the win here.
Yeah, and I think I'm gonna give them the win week 8. I guess it is against Detroit too, even though it's gonna be Jared Goff instead of Matt Stafford. I'm gonna give them the week. I'm gonna give them the win in Detroit. What do you think?
I agree. I think that one's I'm more confident about that Detroit win than the Raiders, because the Raiders is hard to go play in Vegas. I mean, it's not the Oakland fans, but still, tough fans to play in front of. Hopefully they'll be out there. But Detroit, I think that's a win for the Eagles there.
And Alex, do you want to continue? Do you want to go moving later on to week 9?
Sure. So
At
week
Charger,
9. So week 9, the Chargers come into town, which is a 4:05 p.m. start. What do you think about them matching up against the Eagles?
I think the Chargers. Herbert, I think's legit. I think they got some good pieces. I mean, you got Keenan Allen, and they got Joey Bosa on D. They were a good team last year. What I don't remember what they finished up, but they kind of they look good. And Herbert was.
I think they just missed the playoffs.
Yeah, I would like to say win, just because if we're going with my predictions, the Eagles will be on a nice 2-game win streak there, feeling good. I think this is, I think this and the Raiders games are actually 2 big games for them, because they're both very winnable, but tough. 2 teams that just missed out on the playoffs.
Just one thing. I just searched up their history of records, and in 2019 they were 5-11.
5-11. What about
2020?
2020.
They were better than 5-11. They had to have been. They just missed the playoffs.
It says they finished 3rd in the West.
In 2020 they were 7-9.
Yeah, they just missed the playoffs. They were good.
Yeah, and the Raiders were 8-8. So
Yeah.
Too tough. They're too tough. They're only gonna get better. I mean, they had a rookie quarterback. It's it's tough for that to get there. So looking at the thing, they missed it by. They ended up the 11 seed, but the Raiders actually just missed it by, a game to be first man up there. So it is. Out of those 3 games, they can win all 3. I'll give them the loss of the Chargers, since they gave them the other 2 wins. I go those 3 games, and then going on to week 10 here, the Broncos. I think that's got to be a win.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I think it's got to be a win. Agree. What about week 11 against the Drew Breesless New Orleans Saints?
The Jameis Winston Saints or Taysom Hill, but I feel like every home game I'm picking against the Eagles here, but it's a tough one. The Saints are still a good team. I mean, let's be honest, Drew Brees, first ballot Hall of Famer, one of the greatest to ever do it, but the last even 2 years, he hasn't been Drew Brees. There's better options out there. He couldn't throw the ball last year really at all.
Yeah, and don't forget, they still have Thomas. They still have Kamara. They still have Hill. They still have all those.
I think
talented guys.
Yeah, I think that's a loss for the Eagles here.
All right.
They're at 5-6 through week 11.
5-6 through week 11, going into New York, I believe.
When?
Going into New York, week 12.
Yeah.
Against the Giants.
That's the Giants
Sunday afternoon.
Giants might be able to. I think they're gonna be better than they were last year, but Daniel Jones has averaged 2 turnovers a game since he's been in the league. I don't think you can win with a quarterback like that, and I think the Eagles will. Yeah, the Giants. It's always a tough game, always a division game, but I think they'll take that one, and I think they're going to go to New York and take 2 games back to back there.
So you're gonna say Giants and then the Jets the next week, the very next week. Saints play different time, same place, same time next week.
Yeah, I
The
think
Jets at MetLife.
we'll, if Zach Wilson comes out and is an absolute stud, it could change. But I'm not necessarily. I'm a wait and see on Zach Wilson right now. I think he got pretty hyped up. He's good, but I would have gone with Justin Fields at 2. To be honest, I think he was.
I 100% agree. And then we have to be determined at the Sunday 12-19 against Washington. Who do you have?
I got the Birds here. The Washington still doesn't scare me. They're gonna have to prove it. I know. The Eagles have a lot of unknowns, but who's Washington's quarterback right now? Actually, I'm not even sure who their quarterback is.
I don't even know who their quarterback is.
Is it Alex Smith?
No, Alex Smith retired.
Alex Smith retired.
He had
Deshaun, he got released, right?
I'm about to have it up right here. Let's see. Looks like it is. I mean, they got Fitzmagic.
Oh, is it
Fitzmagic?
Oh, they got Ryan Fitzpatrick. That's right.
Yeah,
they got Ryan
Fitzmagic.
Fitzpatrick.
Yeah. It's
All right, so I'm gonna I'm still gonna go Eagles, but Fitzpatrick actually scares me more. He's always got something up his sleeve, but it's late in the season. That's late in the season for him. He's old. He's gonna be tired. They're gonna have like 3 wins. They're gonna be done. They'll probably be playing some rookie. I think they win both against the Redskins, beat the Giants again, and then
Beat the Giants again. And then Washington and then Dallas to wrap up the season.
Dallas, I think that depends on what that game means for both teams. I think Dallas is probably going to be, in the playoffs at that point. I think
hopefully the Eagles will be in the playoffs too. Maybe.
I hope I hope the Eagles, but I'm being as optimistic as I can with these picks, and I still don't think that gets them in. They don't have the easiest schedule, but I think the Cowboys probably might be too much. Yeah, no, I'm giving it to the Eagles.
Yeah, who knows? If the Cowboys are in by then, the Cowboys may play all their reserves.
Yeah.
If they play all their reserves, we might be able to win.
Yeah. No, I hope.
I'm not saying we won't be able to beat the starters on week 3. I'm saying I don't know if we can. We might be able to. We'll have to see. But especially week 18, there's an extra. If the Cowboys are already in it, or maybe the Cowboys will already be out of it by that point.
Yeah.
They'll have to play all the reserves, and I think that if we play the Cowboys reserves, I think we'll be fine to go.
Yeah, agreed.
All right, and that wraps up this podcast. Unless Alex, you have anything else?
Just to wrap everything up, I just wanted your thoughts on the last 3 regular season games for the Sixers.
I think the Heat. Was it tomorrow? The Heat.
Yeah.
I think they wrap it up there. I think they wrap it up, get the 1 seed. But I was hearing today that they, because Embiid's got his non-COVID sickness, or whatever they're calling it, probably just resting him. I hope they're not resting him, and I hope they clinch it up, and then they can rest everyone the last 2 games. But I think that's I think they wrap it up there, and then rest the last 2, and kind of coast in and get the nice time off with the playing, and then get into a first round matchup. Which I want to ask you my couple of questions here. Who do you want them to play in the first round, and who are you who do you want to see really sell? Let's say it's going to either be the Hornets, Celtics, Pacers, or I think the Wizards will probably be the last team in the play.
Mm-hmm.
Which one of those teams scares you the most? I mean, the Sixers will be heavily favored regardless, but
yeah,
who scares you the most, and which do you want to play? I know I got it.
I think the Wizards scare me. because of how good Bradley Beal and Russell is playing. They're playing absolutely out of their minds.
I agree. Those two can take over a game.
Yeah.
I think the Celtics scare me only for one reason, and that's because we don't have a good history against them in the playoffs.
Yeah, but with the Jaylen Brown just got hurt yesterday, the day before, and he's out for the season now.
Yeah.
I agree with you, Cam. I think the Celtics is I think the Wizards are probably the Celtics are also, and they're going to have Tatum. They're still going to have Kemba, but I would love to do what they did to us last year to them, send them home early, first round.
Yeah.
The Hornets matchup, I think we kind of beat up on them, but I think that'd be a good matchup. And then I got two more questions. Second round now. Let's just say it's probably either the Knicks or the Heat, let's say.
I'd love to see the Knicks. Alex and I, we have Knicks friends that are like Knicks fans, and we have be a fun time.
I'd like to tell Mr. John Murphy on this podcast. I know he'll be listening. That if the Sixers play the Knicks, the Sixers will win in 4 games.
I don't think it's going to be 4 games. I think it's going to be a 5 or 6 game series, but I think it's going to be a very, very good competitive series.
Let me drop the fact that the Sixers haven't lost to the Knicks since Obama was in office as president.
Oh, wow. I didn't. You learn something new every day, Alex, don't you?
Simmons has never lost to the Knicks.
I didn't realize that.
Yeah, so I'm really just saying that to kind of get at John if he listens a little bit.
Yeah.
But
I'll make sure. I'm going to talk to him later tonight. Shane Kelley wants you to listen to the podcast. He has a special thing for you.
He's going to listen all the way to the end to get to it too. But they're a good team. They're going to be a tough team to battle around. But I would much rather face them than the Heat. The Heat actually scared the daylights out of me as a team. The Sixers could, if the shooters of Danny Green, Steph Curry. Hopefully Tobias is playing like he's been playing this year, not last year. Being aggressive, XYZ.
Hopefully by that time everybody will be healthy.
Jimmy Butler scares the daylights out of me though.
I don't know why we gave him away.
Bam down low who can defend. They got those shooters, and you saw they got in the bubble this year. They just get young and cocky, and they got that bulldog Jimmy Butler, who I think. He willed that team to the finals last year, which was incredible to watch. He scares me. I would much rather, even if the Knicks goes 6 games, I don't want to see the Heat, really.
Yeah.
Yeah, I 100% agree with you. And then, who do you think is going to be in the Eastern Conference Finals with us if we get there?
I was gonna try to ask that one to you guys because that's so tough because,
you have to remember Brooklyn's hurt. Brooklyn can't stay healthy.
They haven't stayed healthy. They haven't figured out. And I think it's going to be more defensively for them to figure it out. I think the same reason I like the Sixers against them. Like, okay, if their 3 guys are there, whether they've been playing a lot, they're gonna score 120 points. But they can't play a lick of defense. They can't stop Embiid, and I think also can't stop Giannis. And the Bucks.
Also, what do you think about Chris Middleton?
Chris Middleton is, he 2 year, 3 years in a row as an all-star, 40, 50, 90 club last year. Good both ways. Drew Holiday is my first team all defense. He can guard. So they have bodies to match up with those 3, like the Sixers do with Ben and Matisse and Tobias guarding. Like you're never going to stop those 3, but you can slow them down. And I honestly think the Knicks might figure it out. They might just be too much firepower. And all 3 of those guys prove they can play with other people before. So I wouldn't be surprised. But that series is going to go 7 games. And I think Giannis just might be too much to handle for him. But they got Blake Griffin with DeAndre Jordan.
Yeah.
Neither of them are stopping Embiid or Giannis. Giannis is going to have average 35 plus that series.
Yeah.
So who do you have? So you're taking the Nets, right?
Yeah. No, I'm gonna go Bucks.
You're gonna go Bucks, and then and then Sixers Bucks. Who do you think is gonna win that?
I got Sixers. I got the Sixers coming out either way. The Bucks actually scare me more probably than the Nets. Yeah, the Nets could be, and in probably all the past years when the Sixers been early exits, I thought they would match up with the Bucks well and beat them. But the Bucks, they scare me more this year because of like really Drew Holiday being added, and they didn't lose many other pieces. The guys are good, and Drew Holiday is a very good piece. He's very good defense, scores for him. He makes shots like last year they had Eric Bledsoe. He's not making three. Drew Holiday's gonna hit it every time. It'll be a good series. I think either way. Again, that's one's gonna go 7 no matter what team it is against the Sixers there. And I think whoever honestly wins that, the West is kind of a mess. I don't really have a prediction for the West. That could be anybody. Honestly, that's gonna be a fun to watch though.
Yeah, I think it's gonna be either Phoenix or Utah.
Yeah. I mean, the Lakers with getting healthy, they were still the number one defensive rated team in the league without LeBron and AD. You had them, and even the Warriors beat the Suns and the last 2 nights. They're going to be in the play-in tournament probably, but I'm not predicting they get all there. But that's what I'm saying. Everyone from top to
the thing is, if they both get into the play-in tournament, the Lakers and the Warriors, they would have to play each other, and only one team gets in.
So because what seeding are they right now? Because
they're both playing right now. So if everything stays the same, we're gonna have a Lakers Warriors playoff game Warriors playing game right now. I don't think anybody expected that.
No. I actually did hear it today because it was like they were like, yeah, you're gonna have the Warriors, Steph Curry, LeBron, and I guess the Pelicans aren't in it anymore, but they're like in Zion. Yeah, so right now, so it's the Lakers are 7, Warriors are 8, Memphis is 9, Spurs are 10. So the Lakers and Warriors would play. Winner of that game gets a 7 seed, and the loser plays the winner of the other game. So they could both get in. And you tell me the Warriors versus the Jazz series, that, I think that could go 6-7 games. The Lakers Suns.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I think if you told me those were the 2 first-round matchups in the beginning of the year, I'd be like, oh, the Lakers are the 1 seed and the Warriors are the 2 seed, and the Suns and Jazz are 7-8. It's just crazy. Mavericks are good. The Clippers. I'll probably take a runner on the West. I'm going to say the Clippers come out.
Okay.
That'd be great.
So Clippers and Sixers in the finals, and then I guess story tells from there.
Yeah, I think we'll let that one play out. Doc Rivers might get his revenge. I think whoever comes out of the East though is gonna win it this year.
I 100% agree.
The West as a whole is better, but the top 3 in the East are better than
the West.
The whole West really. Yeah.
I would love to see Utah against Philly in the finals.
Yeah, against Spida, Donovan Mitchell, Mr.
Yep. If he returns, he's hurt right now.
Yeah, Ben Simmons can.
And also, Gobert.
Yeah, Gobert.
Rudy Gobert.
Yeah, Gobert. Yeah.
Last time they played, they had him matched up against Ben, and Ben dropped 28 or something.
I think Ben Simmons did 16 the first quarter the last time they played, maybe.
Yeah, Ben takes that one personal. Against Gobert, he takes it personal especially because I think Gobert is going to win the Defensive Player of the Year over him, so he's going to get pissed more. And he hates Donovan Mitchell because not a rookie. Sure.
Yeah.
It was, I think it's gonna be a fun playoff round. I think the Sixers. I don't think it's like in the past where it's like, oh, let's just see them advance around, get to the Eastern Conference Finals. I think their expectation. I think the fans' expectation should be really championship or bust. I mean, we'll say finals or bust, but once they're there, they're not gonna play a team better than the Nets or the Bucks, really.
Yeah.
The Lakers, and that could scare me. But besides that, they better not lose to the Jazz or Sun in the finals. I'll tell you that.
Yeah.
All right, and I think that's gonna wrap up the podcast. Shane, thanks for joining us.
Thank you so much.
No, thank you. Hopefully we'll have to do a check-in though, a little Sixers.
Yeah, we'll do a check-in mid-playoffs. How does that sound?
Maybe after each round, I'll give you my thoughts on the round and on the next one, and we'll just check in from there.
Yep.
Sounds good. Sounds good.
Good.
All right. See you guys later.
Yep. See you guys.